Greetings, it's Vaygrim, back again with another video. I've got some ideas for what we want to do today. I originally had some, you know what, I have more than ideas. I have building materials. I have been making some progress on Thaumcraft. Finally, I know you guys are probably saying to yourself, I actually have a couple of the simple want foci. I've got fire, I've got lightning, and I've got equal trade. I'm very psyched about equal trade. It makes things a lot easier. I would like to give a big shout out to Apsai Lihara. She is from the RR Resident Rise chat room on esper.net. She is very, very cool. And she helped me with a setting that I didn't know existed. There is a setting in Thaumcraft, Thaumic Tinkerer called Easy Research. And I hate to say it, but I've done enough research for Thaumcraft 3 and 4 in previous games that I'm just not going to go through it all over again from scratch because it's painful. So I turned on Easy Research, and since then I've actually been making a good deal of progress. I'm thinking about maybe us setting up some Thaumcraft stuff for next episode and doing some infusions. But before we get to that, I've got some other things we need to address first. Like, namely, we have a distinct lack of control over certain drops that are certain things that are dropped by mobs, like blaze rods. I still have to go hunt blaze rods. I have a blaze spawner, but even blaze spawners, I have to sit there and wait for it to generate those blaze rods, and I'm not real big on that. Things like that we need. Blaze rods. We need gas tiers would be nice, but I don't have time and space for gas tiers. But for ghasts. But I'd like to set up some mob spawners, things like that. Things like maybe skeletons for bone meal. That'd be really nice. Yeah, I think that'd be very, very cool. So what I'm going to do is, instead of... I had an idea for kind of a trophy room or a library to go off here. But now that I think about it, instead of doing it here, I think I'm going to construct a second sphere connecting straight above the first one. I think that'd be really, really cool. Make it a little smaller and to make that kind of like the living quarters, bedroom space, trophy room. Make some display cases, make it a little bit more intimate in feel, and have the two of them connect. We can have elevators going straight up into it, and I think that'd be real cool. So what I'm going to do with this space is I'm going to build a giant box. A box to house all of the pain and the misery that I'm going to inflict on some really poor, unfortunate monsters. So if you'll bear with me in just a second, what I'm going to do is cut to a building montage. blocky, aggressive, and strange. Looks like a prison to me. Now it's time to put on the bars. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Detention Block. It's not much, but I think it's a really solid start. I've got some ideas for future decoration on the building, things that'll make it look a bit more menacing. For now, let me step into bat mode so we can take a tour around without having to worry. We've got some nice iron bars for all the windows. Inset, very, very nice. And we also have fence-off iron reinforced skylights to make sure that the riffraff doesn't try and get out through the roof. Now, this building actually does have a lower level, which I will probably put some access to right about here. At present, that will do just fine for some functional stairs, but in the meantime, we'll just make use of that and see if we can figure out something better. Now, the idea that I had for this was basically using Mine Factory Reloaded spawners, so I can spawn specifically what monsters I want on command, have them spawn even when I'm not directly next to, because that's the one problem I'm not sure if you guys realize. Basically, let's say this is a normal spawner, a zombie spawner, a skeleton spawner, what have you. Basically, that only has a certain range, stairwell, where I actually have to be immediately around it. And you'll actually see flames will trigger, and it will actually start to burn. And it'll start, that means that you actually have activated that spawner, basically, by being in close enough proximity. So basically, if I had a whole bunch of normal spawners in here, as soon as I step out of the building, they're going to stop working. And we can't have that. I need to be able to go to somewhere in the rest of the base, or go do magical research, or go down, or go to the Twilight Forest, whatever the case may be. I cannot sit here and babysit this stuff 24/7. It's not going to be viable. We're going to get tired of that real quick. So I'm thinking Mine Factory Reloaded. Mine Factory Reloaded means that we can actually make use... Much better. It means we can actually make use of the Mine Factory Reloaded spawners, which will generate us mob essence, and we can use that mob essence for a lot of other really, really cool tricks that I'd love to get into. So I think this is going to be a really, really solid start for us. So why don't I go see if I can get us some materials to block off some of the space in here, and we can start triggering, start setting up some of this actual Mine Factory Reloaded spawning system for ourselves. Be right back. Okay, so I've got some equipment with me. I've got an auto spawner from Mine Factory Reloaded, a grinder. That's what we're going to use to kill little bastards. We also have some, extra. I also have a safari net that's got a blaze in it. I'm going to plug that into the auto spawner and tell it to make more blazes. It's very cool. It's very neat. What we're going to do now, we're going to have to figure out a cell size that is big enough that we won't have too many problems. We don't want blazes spawning outside the building. You know what? Wooden floors. I just realized that. It's alright, I have a fix. I have a fix. This is where my handy dandy wand of equal trade comes in. Let's just grab all of that. What we're going to do, we'll select that. Then we're going to make a line. Now let's see. If I have a spawner, it's going to search 4 blocks out and 3 blocks up, which means I can't have it anywhere closer. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, right there. So it's going to have to go right there, which means that really this is about as much space as we dare give the convicts. Now, we actually want to make the roof... Oh, to hell with this. There we go. We actually want to make the roof kind of low. Specifically because we don't want them flying too high. So I'm going to make the roof as low as possible. Actually, you know what? I'm going to risk it and set it just inside this window. 1, 2, 3. Which means that's going to be the roof right there. Let's bust out. Oh, it does work with clear glass. Cool. Okay. Yeah, I'll curve it. I'm going to cheat on the corner and see if it comes back to bite me. Thankfully, this is not hooked up directly to the rest of the base. So... there we go. Now we're going to have to put a door on here somewhere. But I think I'm going to work right there. And basically, we are going to have to do the grinder. Yeah. Let me make sure I've got all the wiring I need. Hang on just a second. Okay. Whoopsie. So, that is the... I missed a spot. There we go. That's that right there. We're going to put this here. Then we got to go downstairs and make sure we've got all the necessary power. Now what I've done right here, oh, I just lost a brick. I got one of our windmills from the house. I moved it back out here on the back end. All it needs is a vertical clearance straight up into the sky, which it's got there. And because we're so high up, it's actually double the power it used to be. More than double the power it used to be down on the ground, which is very cool. I've got it hooked up to this bank of batteries back here. Capacitor bank from Enderio. I'm using Enderio cabling as well. And I am very psyched about this. Let's see. We gonna have to do that. Now, okay, so that's got power. And that's got power. Okay. Now, actually, we can do it with... Whoa! We can do it with this. what I just realized I need. For now, I'll go simple. Do it that way. That may not work, actually. Yeah, we'll see. So right now, there's one thing I could immediately plug this in, and we'd start getting blazes. The problem is we would immediately start getting blazes. I want a control. I want an on-off switch. So what we're going to do... Jumpy, jumpy. Oh, God. Oh, that's going to hurt. Okay. Where did I put it? There we go. This is red alloy wire from Project Red. It's very cool stuff. Basically, you make red iron compound this way, redstone, a whole bunch of redstone and some iron, and it turns into red alloy ingots, which, amongst other things, you can turn into red alloy wire. Now, red alloy wire is very cool because you can run it in places you normally can't run redstone. It goes up walls, it goes across walls, up, down ceilings, whatever the case may be, whatever your needs are. So in this situation, I'm going to put a lever right here. So it's going to be basically just offset a little bit from the grinder. What I can do, so if the grinder's right there, our lever should be right there. Just going to get it, run it over here. So in theory, if we do this, that's still running, but that's pegged. You see this? Work is maxed out. When I flip that on, it's stuck at idle, basically. If I flip this off, you'll see this goes through its normal cycle. So we have a control. We have a safety mechanism now, which means I can put this in here and do that. What happens? I think I'm going to need something else, aren't I? Yeah. I knew I was forgetting something. Hang on just a second here, folks. No, that's wrong. I'm going to have to put a sign on that. Otherwise, I'm going to get myself in trouble. Okay. We have a need for bioessence. Now, here's the thing. We need this stuff that is called mob essence, basically, that is used by... Yeah, it's nice and dark. Used by Modpack Reloaded to do all of this stuff that it does. So what I'm going to do is go pull out of mothballs something that I have been saving for just such an occasion. Actually, before I do that, only so many faces to a block. Eternal problem. So I have to get a pipe out of this thing. I think I know what I want to do. Once again, I leave all the supplies I need back in the... I really wish you guys had... Oh, gosh. Typical. I keep having these light mages spawning around the base, and they're not hostile, but they're still annoying as hell. And so every once in a while, I have to go... Get a job. Just get off my lawn. That's all I care about. Let's see. In this chest, we have some fluid conduct. Fluid conducts. No, see. It really is going to be one of those days. Give me just a second, folks. Okay. As I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted by gravity. One of the wonderful things that I like about Ender IO is the fact that you can have multiple conduits in one space. So what I'm going to do, I can close that up. I'm going to put that there. And with this, actually, nope. By the way, there is a bug with some of these redstone arsenal tools, so be careful. For the most part, I have gotten to where I only use them like I have a redstone arsenal pick that I had to stop using because I have equipment. I've had machines vanish on me when I started using it. I've also noticed that Akka the Builders had the exact same problem. I think I can just do that. Yes, I can. Basically, if you try to break certain machines with a normal pick, it works. If you try and break it with a redstone arsenal pick, the machine just disappears. And it's not very cool. I think. I'm not sure if that's going to pump itself or not. I think we'll have to see. Now, I'm going to have at the ready the very tool that I used to pick up this spawner. Oh, I want some clear glass ready also. So I'm going to do that. And that was the grinder kicking off. So basically what it did was it killed the blaze for us, and there's our first blaze rod. Now, I'm going to set up a better organized storage system for this, but yep, you'll see fluid conduit right there. I don't know why it has a power rating on it, but you'll also notice that we have 12 mob essence. And I hear another blaze, a couple of blazes. So this was one thing I was worried about. I think I'm going to have to move that back wall in some because this grinder just can't reach, can it? Oh, they're getting close enough. Let me see if I can tempt fate a little bit. I'm just making sure the rest of my base isn't catching fire. This is dangerous stuff here. Yeah, so what I need to do is, like a ninja, die. Mad skills, okay. Now, I don't know. We've got 60 mob essence, and I don't think that's enough to do anything on our own. Let me go get some more clear glass and fix this problem, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I patted the back wall and the side wall in a little bit and made the cell slightly smaller. What I'm going to do temporarily is just put that right there. And I'm not sure, but it might actually be too bright now to do anything. So what I'm going to do is flip the lever and see what happens. This is one of the benefits of actually having a system that uses mob essence like Mind Factory Reloaded over a spawner. The spawners from Mind Factory Reloaded are not light level dependent, so you have much more control over what happens. Yeah, I don't think we have enough juice yet. Whoops. So that's not going to work. Light is working against us. So let's wait till dark. We're going to have to stock up some fluid, then we'll work from there. Well, that worked. I don't know if that was our spawner or not. I've still got this set on, which means it has that locked off. We need to build up some fluid. And this is all a learning experience for you and me both, folks. That says 140. What does this have in it? Not a lot. It says work. That's still building up tons of power. Okay. So I'm going to sit here and let this build up, and we're going to store up some excess mob essence that will allow us to spawn on demand. Now, ideally, what I'd like to do is make use of, and this is probably going to have to wait for a later episode, but I'd like to make use of some of the redstone conduit that comes with Ender IO. What is my sound level set at? Oh, that's good. I'd like to make use of some of the actual redstone conduit so we could actually have 5 spawners and a little plus symbol right in the middle. And we could flip a lever or press a button basically to toggle which one we wanted on or off and just basically spawn on demand. I think that would be a really good system. I'd really like that. We could probably put a control panel maybe over here. We'll have to see. Yep. That grinder works real well. We've already got 8 blaze rods. That's paying off very nicely. So this is a really good setup. Now at some point I'm going to have to dash in here and pick this thing back up. I also wish there was a way to get a reading of what kind of fluid level these things have, but there's no real way to do it that I know of. You just got to check. So it's got 273 in it. But I don't see what that has in it. It's not reading it. For all I know, that's empty. Oh, you know what? That got broke at some point. Huh. I'm not sure when. So now, I think we have actually been spawning. This should be turned off now. Yep, it's locked. Oh, this is very important. Exact copy no. What this means is, if I turn this to yes, are we going to see some fluid? If I turn this to yes, we're going to get an exact copy of whatever I captured. Name, health, equipment, whatever. And that takes a lot more mob essence. If I do exact copy no, that means it doesn't use as much mob essence and we can get a lot more bang for our buck. It's basically just getting a random blaze and spawning it. So it's very important that I leave that to no. Otherwise we're going to burn through our mob essence way too fast. Now I'm going to set this. But I think I need a redstone signal for that. I'm not sure. Okay, 10 mob essence. We're getting somewhere. So I'm going to sit on this and let this build up. We're going to have to build up a back stock of fluid so we can actually make this work. Let me see if I can get some built up, and I'll get right back with you guys. Come on, you bastard. Die. God, these things are fun. So this is our own spawner under its own power, and with the flip of a switch, I have control. Now, ideally, what I'd also like to do is put a button right over here that'll raise a drawbridge from Tinker's Construct, and I can just walk in, walk out, and then close that whenever I want to. I've seen Echo the Builder on the Resident Rise server has his spawners set up that way. I believe it's actually on the Utopia server he plays on. I've seen him do that. I think Bevo actually has his spawner set up the same way. You use drawbridges and you basically make a sliding door. It's really, really nice. So now, if I flip this off, that means that we just wait for that machine to go through a cycle, and we should start spawning blazes under our own power. And it'll happen even if I'm not here. As long as this block is chunk loaded, we're in the clear. So yeah, I'm very, very excited about this, needless to say. Do we have enough juice? Weird. I'm going to go downstairs and check. Watch them spawn while I'm down there. So we've got a little bit in there. That's empty again. I'm not exactly sure what's going on, but I think I don't like tanks. So now what I gotta do it's a little awkwardly shaped. I'm gonna stick with that. That's okay for now. These are empty. So what I'm gonna have to do now is get some of this, and I think the problem is right click on that, join those up, close that off, get that, and there we go. Okay. So we have storage. Oh yeah. Burning blazes are a beautiful thing. Now here's the thing. 34 blaze rods. And it's not too hard to do either. Basically, the grinder automatically picks up the loot and sticks it in something. What I think I'd like to do is put an item conduit piped out of that, or maybe, yeah, item conduit from Enderio, because then we can dump it straight into the floor and use the existing network. Because then we could have a bank of barrels right over here and just have everything dump into it. I could make another one of these right next to it, or just stick it in the same cell. And we could put something else necessary in there. We could do skeletons for bone meal and arrows. Oh gosh, we could put water and do a squid tank. I think you can spawn squid. We might just be able to spawn squid in a waterless tank and have them suffocate. I'll have to mess with that. Slimes for slime balls. That's something I really want to get set up because I hate having to hunt down slimes. It's dumb. So I think we're off to a really rip-roaring start. I'm going to watch this go some more, make sure everything's set up right, and I'll be right back with you guys where we can see what we can do next. Okay, so I've been watching the setup for a little bit. I put the actual spawner back in there. I've been watching this setup for a little bit, and basically the conclusion I've come to, and you know, this is new experience for me. The conclusion I've come to is that, and this makes sense for purposes of balance, it's not a net positive. It takes more mob essence to spawn a blaze then a blaze actually yields. So what I'm thinking is, we got the cow farm, right? Well, what if we automated the cow farm? We could do multiple layers. We could put the live cows, the live cows, put the adult cows, the breeding stock, up on the 3rd floor, right? Make a 3-story tower. Just turn this into a 3-story structure. We put the breeding stock on the top floor. We have a veterinary station, which is actually, well, there's various things right here. Chronotypers, all sorts of stuff that you can actually use. Rancher. And basically, I think it's a chronotyper. We can actually get and tell it that if you see any cows that are babies, move them down 1 floor. And we'll get them to move to the 2nd floor. And then when they grow up, they get pulled down to the 3rd floor where they get killed. That means we always have a group of cows on the top floor that are always being bred. And basically the ones that are the result of the breeding gets pulled down to the 3rd floor gradually and gets killed by a grinder, which means we can actually get leather and meat from the cows, and we get mob essence to fuel the rest of our actual mob grinders, which I'm very, very happy about. I'm keen on this idea. We just don't have time to do it this episode. So I think if we do that, I really do think that's going to actually help us get net positive. The cows will help keep the spawners going, and we can use the spawners to basically facilitate the rest of the system. They'll make up the difference. Poor bastards. So, I think that's going to be our project for next time, and I think it's going to be a big one because it's going to require some construction and some electrical work and some piping and things like that, just like we have here. But I'll get on making the supplies, and we'll see if we can get that on in Wednesday's episode. Thank you very, very much for joining me. I really do appreciate you guys showing up, coming around, and showing interest. I really do. And I'm very, very overwhelmed by the surge of subscriptions that I've gotten over the last week, I would say. So I guess I'm doing something right, and I'm just going to keep on doing it. You guys are the voice to me. You tell me what's going right, what's going wrong. What are you interested in? What did I gloss over that you would like to see more details on? Let me know. I need to know from you guys. Tell me in the comments section, and we'll approach this whole problem together. I'm still learning some of the Mind Factory Reloaded stuff. It's changed a lot over the last, 6 months or so. There's a lot of new features in it, and I really think maybe next episode we could peel it apart, set up an automatic cow farm to automatically breed and slaughter. We use that mob essence, pipe it over into the penitentiary over here, and we'll see if we can actually get this place to become even more of a house of horrors than it already is. So thanks for stopping by, guys. I really appreciate it, every single one of you. And let me know what you think. Bye-bye.